Captain Marvel, Blade. These are just a couple of superheroes who didn't know better than to mess with Marvel's friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, because in this video, we're going to tell you all about how Peter Parker absolutely dunked on Earth's so-called mightiest heroes. To begin with, Spidey and the Avengers are already getting antsy right from the start. You see, Peter knows something that the rest of Marvel's premier super team doesn't, that they're being mind-controlled by a supervillain called the Great Manipulator. This little doohickey in my hand, it's called the Resequencer. It reshuffles your thoughts without you even realizing it. But I have a buddy at the university just waiting to deactivate this and free your minds, and then we can all be friends again. Wouldn't that be cool? Yes, Spider-Man, that would be cool. But you know who's not cool? Captain America. Because he hears this, and instead of trusting arguably the most stand-up superhero in all of Earth 616, Steve Rogers does what any authoritarian would do. That sounds like a great idea, Spider-Man. We're all in favor of resolving this without anyone getting hurt. Except it's not us who are being mind-controlled. It's you. Way to gaslight your friend, Mr. Rogers. We guess all that time in the ice ultimately froze out your humility. To Spidey's credit, he doesn't fold when Cap does this to him. Instead, he gives us yet another classic example of that good old webhead sass. Yeah, it's just, isn't that something a mind-controlled person would say? Of course, the Avengers are already a bunch of self-righteous one-percenters by default. What more if they've been mind-wiped to lean into that further? Spider-Man knows this, and if what he's about to say doesn't make you believe he's truly Marvel's greatest superhero, then we don't know what will. We're not going to get through this without a fight, are we? Please, I don't want to fight the Avengers. I'll probably lose. You probably will. Oh, looks like the God of Thunder is about to get his mouth stuffed with a thick slice of humble pie, because not a second passes after that when Pete takes the proverbial gloves off and starts bodying the Avengers one by one. First, he leaps off the ground and starts web swinging. Cap tries to take point and calls for Iron Man's help, but Peter dunks on Tony's shiny butt by short-circuiting his armor in an instant. The brainwashed Avengers mobilize, and you can see that Black Panther is the only one of them who has the good sense to realize that they're not dealing with some giddy high schooler here. Spider-Man is a highly intelligent individual, and he's had 12 hours to come up with ways to defeat us. That's right, T'Challa. Spider-Man is the Dark Knight that Marvel deserves, not you. Spidey drops down to the streets and She-Hulk tries to meet him head-on with a cracking right cross, but Pete humbles the Jade Muscle Mommy by vaulting over her easily. But things happen so quickly that the wall crawler fails to notice Carol Danvers, Captain Marvel, swooping in to grab him by the neck. What happens next would make any fan of Greg Land's smut magazine-swiping art style squeal like a schoolgirl, as Spidey flicks a capsule between her lips, which then explodes to fill Carol's mouth with white-hot web fluid. Try not to panic. That webbing will dissolve in less than 60 seconds, I promise. Oh, Peter, always such a gentleman. Grandpa Steve tries to hurl his vibranium shield at Spidey, and we already know how that's going to end up. Come on. You senile star-spangled chump. If Pete can dunk on someone like She-Hulk and Captain Marvel, what makes you think throwing your shield at him would work? You just gave your enemy a weapon, dummy. And that's exactly what Spidey did, as he catches Cap's shield and uses it as his own. Here's the thing too, the Avengers know that Spidey was taking it easy on them swinging outside the city, because in an enclosed space, Pete is an absolute pain factory. Blade comes to meet him inside an empty office building, and the two start to throw down. Now, you can argue that the day-walking vampire hunter got in a couple of good shots in there, but we like to think it's just Spidey playing possum, biding his time so that he can humble a couple more Avengers and save on some of that expensive web fluid. Because that's exactly what happened. Captain America and Black Panther would join Blade to try and gang up on the wall crawler, but web grenade, fools! And just like that, Pete was out of that building while 3 more of the Avengers were made to look like a bunch of amateurs. Spidey would swing through the city again, but Thor catches him by the collar. Of course, it's obvious that a God of Thunder could easily zap Pete like a bug. But again, Spider-Man is a highly intelligent individual. Hi, Thor. Bye, Thor. Why fight a literal god when you could slip out of your shirt and escape harm, right? And you can easily tell Spidey's having fun, with taking his top off in the middle of the city. Then again, this is New York, baby. Seeing crazy shirtless dudes on the street is what they call just another Tuesday. Iron Man would take control of his armor again and try to blast Pete, but at this point, the wall crawler has had enough playing with these noobs. So, he surrenders himself and hands over the resequencer to the Avengers. Your shirt in exchange for the contraption. I love how you say contraption, it sounds so classy. You surrendered this with suspicious ease. Did I? Well, Thor isn't wrong, because Cap realizes that Spidey did the old switcheroo and gave them a fake resequencer. Sorry guys, I knew you'd stop me, I just had to keep you distracted long enough. That's right people, based on the comic book alone, we've seen Spider-Man beat down, web up, troll, and basically make fools out of Earth's mightiest heroes. So yeah, the next time any of them even thinks about messing with Pete, the Avengers better recognize that Loki is not the true god of mischief in the Marvel Universe. In any case, this whole debacle ends with all the heroes discovering that the Great Manipulator was, well, manipulating reality to make them all think that they've been brainwashed. And just as a bonus, Pete absolutely put that supervillain in his place too. Now that you've seen Spider-Man humble the Avengers, which other Marvel superheroes do you want to see dunking on their teammates next? Let us know in the comments section and we might just do a video of it. And for more pop culture goodness, hit that subscribe button and turn on all notifications. See you next time, only here at KRTV Marvel.